There you go.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another great episode of the Gridiron Glory here with Will and Tad, where we cover every NFL team, all 32 teams from 1 to 32. Today we're bringing forth a Week 10 recap between the Baltimore Ravens and the Cincinnati Bengals. When these two teams match up, you can always expect a phenomenal football game, and for the second time this year, we saw just that with the Ravens eking out a 35 to 34 victory on a failed 2-point conversion by the Bengals late in the fourth quarter. We saw
Yeah, a
some
very controversial moment, pivotal moment for the Bengals there. Tough
yeah,
break.
very controversial. There were some questionable calls, some could say. And it's the NFL. In the NFL, you're going to get some questionable calls at some moments, and it's for the team. Some teams can overcome it, some teams can't. Um, And in this situation, it was the Bengals unable to overcome it. We saw a lot of phenomenal performances. Lamar Jackson continues another 33 effort, 290 yards, 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, 0 sacks, also 33 rushing yards. So he carried the load for the Ravens today. Not the biggest day for Derrick Henry, only 16 carries for 68 yards and a touchdown. So Lamar being able to do what he did in spite of Derrick Henry's less than stellar performance, I think that speaks deep to who Lamar is as a quarterback. Joe Burrow on the other end was equally efficient 34 of 56, 428 yards, 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. And Jamar Chase, an outstanding, unbelievable game for one of the best receivers in the league 11 catches, 264 yards, 3 touchdowns. When you hear these stats for those players, like, well, what do you think about this offensive outburst we saw from both teams? Like, what's your take on that?
My take on that is, it's just, the Bengals, got off to a surging start, to really start this game. They really came out and exploded in that first half there, Tad. And then, just what you were able to see from, the Ravens being able to make their explosive comeback in the third quarter. And then, even then, you still saw the Bengals still, trading blows, on the offensive side of the ball. So, this was just a game between Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow where they really went out there and they showcased um, their prolific quarterbacking skill. And it's just, a matter of, it came down to 1 2 point conversion, Tad.
It did, yeah. Just phenomenal offensing by both teams in the clutch. I mean, they just answer each other's touchdowns spot for spot. They did it all game long. You see just both teams answer whether it was Tylan Wallace, the young receiver for the Ravens, scoring the long touchdown. Mark Andrews had a touchdown. Bateman
I,
at the lore.
I was going to say my favorite play was, where Lamar Jackson rolled out of the pocket and, threw like a fadeaway, almost kind of a pass to Bateman in the end
Yeah.
zone. So at that point, that's just, to me, it kind of felt like, you're just out there having fun at that point. And Lamar Jackson certainly has a very flashy way of playing football. You like to see it.
Yes, you absolutely love to see Ravens and Bengals just playing at the highest level. These two quarterbacks, some of the better quarterbacks in the league. And yeah, I'd like to ask, where would you rank both Joe Burrow and Lamar Jackson among the quarterbacks in the AFC?
Amongst the quarterbacks in the AFC, no question and doubt, Tad, they're easily two top 10 quarterbacks in the AFC without a question and doubt.
He's
Easily two, probably even, I would say definitely in the top 10. Lamar is probably in the top five. Burrow is probably like, shoot, sixth, seventh, or eighth.
in the AFC. I would probably put. I think I'd put them both in the top four personally. Um, in the AFC. You can
I mean,
question where you'd
Mahomes and
want to put.
Allen.
Yeah, those were the other two I was thinking of in the top four. You can question if you want. I'd probably at this point put Lamar ahead of Allen. I don't know if I'd put Joe Burrow ahead of Allen, but I probably would put Lamar ahead of Allen.
Yeah. But nonetheless, yeah, two of the best. These are the two franchise quarterbacks that really went out there and showcased it. But yeah, Tad,
Yeah,
where would you rank Derrick Henry amongst all time beasts?
I mean, I would
Not
rank
football
Derrick
players, just
Henry
as a beast in general. Where would you rank him?
definitely like at least top five.
Love it.
Derrick Henry's incredible.
Would you rank like amongst all time running backs? Would you rank him up there with like an Adrian Peterson, perhaps amongst the all time beast list?
I mean, he's a different type of running back than Adrian Peterson. I'd probably rank Adrian Peterson as here above Derrick Henry all time. No disrespect to Derrick Henry, but I think that Derrick Henry, like right now in the league, Derrick Henry's a unicorn and that he's a guy that can still go out there, carry the ball in general 20 times a game. Derrick Henry can go continue to just grind out yards, and you just don't see a lot of feature back like Derrick Henry these days. He's like one of a kind in the league. So yeah, very impressive there.
Yeah. Yeah, Derrick Henry. I mean, he's an amazing running back, and certainly very prolific, very dynamic with the way that he can explode. And I mean, just when he gets going, Tad, when he's going like top speed, like you're not bringing him down.
No, no, he's a force. Like not an easy guy to tackle. I mean, he had 68 yards and a touchdown, and he considers that a down game. I mean, that's a respectable game for most players, but that's a down game for Derrick Henry.
And yeah, Tad, let's not discredit on the flip side. We are discounting a player here. Jamar Chase. 11 catches, 264 yards, 3 touchdowns, including a 70-yard bomb. He was targeted 17 times. Tad, I would like to
Mm-hmm.
humbly, sincerely, and generously ask you, where would you rank Jamar Chase amongst the wide receiver ones in the NFL?
Boy, I mean, I'm a little biased for a receiver in Minnesota, but it's hard not to see Jamar Chase at least as the number two behind
Yeah.
Jesus. It's hard not to say that this was an incredible game for Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase, he absolutely owns the Baltimore Ravens. Like if you were to look online, like look up who is the owner of the Baltimore Ravens, you would see a picture of Jamar Chase's face next to the ownership for the Baltimore Ravens because just what he's done to this team, he's had some incredible games against the Baltimore Ravens throughout the last 3-4 years, even. I don't know what it is about the Ravens that brings out the best in this guy, but just unbelievable performance by Jamar
I
Chase.
mean, some
One of
very
the best in
explosive plays. Just like he was going out there, Tad, and making some of those plays look easy. He was going out there and just scorching defenders and torching defenders, juking on them, making it just look so easy to do for him. And it probably is sometimes because he's that
And I mean, you
athletic.
have to think he did all this without T. Higgins. T. Higgins wasn't even available in the game, so that explains some of the increased workload. But you'd think with T. Higgins out, the Ravens would have a better plan to cover Jamar Chase. They had nothing for him. They had nothing.
And which is when you have the best safety in the NFL, Kyle Hamilton, scratching your head a little on that one.
Yep. That definitely makes you scratch your head. I think if I recall, I believe Kyle Hamilton got injured at some point in the game. I don't remember. Yeah, he hurt his ankle at
Yeah.
some point in the game. So I think he missed some of the end of the game, and that was when Jamar did his worst, did like his biggest damage, I mean, to the Ravens. So that you can explain some of it with that, but at some point, like if you're the Ravens, you have to come up with a better plan to cover Jamar Chase because he's been a real problem for them.
Yeah. And Tad, really quick, Mike Gesicki. I mean, well, we haven't really touched much on the defensive players. I just want to touch up on them really quick.
Oh,
Uh, you got guys like I really don't know how to pronounce his name. Tad, how do you pronounce that? Number 92 for the Ravens.
oh, Matabuke.
Yeah, he had a really good game, didn't he?
Yeah. Yeah. The 3 sacks, the 2 tackles for loss, 3 quarterback hits. He had a solid game. Honestly, I mean, we didn't touch much on the defense because a lot of this was just high flying offense, but the defensive players did go out there and do what they could. Marcus Williams, 5 tackles. Roquan Smith had 12 tackles for the Ravens, so that was nice to see. Geno Stone made some plays for Cincinnati. Jermaine Pratt. No sacks for Cincinnati, so nothing on that side. In fact, there were only 3 sacks in the game for both teams. They were all 3 by Matabuke, so just an incredible stat there.
Yeah, I would say so. So now we're looking at the AFC North standings: Pittsburgh 7-2, Baltimore 7-3, Cincinnati 4-6, Cleveland 2-7. Next week in Week 11, the Cincinnati Bengals, they go on to, let's see, the Bengals will be
I believe they have the Chargers up next for Sunday Night Football.
At Sunday Night Football at the Chargers, a rematch of the Super Bowl. Wait, no, I'm sorry. No, not a rematch of the Super Bowl. I misspoke, folks. They will be playing at the Los Angeles Chargers, not the Rams, but in the same stadium where they appeared at the Super Bowl 2 seasons.
Yeah, and if you're looking at the Baltimore Ravens, a huge game in Pittsburgh for the division lead. That'll be a noon game, so big stakes there.
Big, massive, a noon Sunday game. So yeah, massive stakes there. That'll be a high intense game for sure. So Baltimore wins 35-34 Thursday Night Football in Week 10. I didn't really have any other final thoughts or takes on this game unless you did, Tad.
Yeah, no. Thanks for watching and following along. Continue to like and subscribe to the Gridiron Glory. And yeah, thank you for watching.